everybody, and welcome to the Life Daytime. We're so glad you tuned in. I'm your co-host, Lisa Cook.
And I'm Mia Bell Grant.
Mia, welcome to your first Chick Chat.
Hey!
I love these.
Yes.
You want to just jump right in?
Sure. Looking at this video that we're about to look at from the Shade Room was very disturbing to me. And so the question is, to father or not the father? Take a look at this.
I don't give a what nobody think about it. You're not gonna force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that gonna have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with. Because you're going to be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I done told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump offs. These the type of women that I ain't even had to do nothing for. The bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them? Like, I don't even have no type of love for these women. How do they expect me to love these children?
So, I don't understand his thought patterns. I just don't know. Lisa, can you give me your opinion of what you just saw or witnessed?
That's a mess. An absolute mess. Dr. Phil said, if you choose the behavior, you choose the consequence. We all know that sex has consequences. And pregnancy is just one of them. You know what I'm saying? You just have to, this brother... Ooh.
Now I'm just thinking, like, for him to say, you know, for a woman to have her body, her choice, his life and his choice.
A woman say, my body, my choice, but I say, it's my life, my choice.
What do you think about those words coming from a male, like a man who God had determined to be the head of the household?
He's just ridiculous. And to suggest that he's giving women the option of plan B or an abortion, something that can affect her for the rest of her life. An abortion itself is going to be mentally and emotionally traumatizing, and then her body could be affected. She could, that could affect any pregnancy she had in the future. That's just ridiculous. And I feel like this, brother, if you don't want to have any babies, because these aren't puppies.
Correct. They're blessed.
These babies have to be educated. They have to be seen. They have to be, I'm telling you, if it was me, he would never work in America. Because the one thing you're going to do is support him financially.
Correct. He need to level up, man up.
That's altogether crazy. Oh my God. Speaking of not being a man, we're going to talk about Pastor Tim Ross, who was talking about the natural responsibilities of manhood. What do y'all think about that? Watch.
You don't understand all it takes to be a man. It's so hard.
It is hard, and man up. Now, I will say that much. You were born with a penis and some testicles, fam. There's more testosterone running through the average man than any woman ever. To that end, especially as a believer in Jesus, there is a responsibility that comes with being born into a male body. And if you're born into that male body, you better understand and recognize that there is more responsibility on your shoulders by design. And you cannot escape that. You cannot drink that away. You cannot smoke that away. You cannot sex that away. You cannot masturbate it away. You cannot run away from it. This is going to be here. You're going to have to live up to the mandate of what it means to be God's man.
I think this man, is pretty much on point. Mia, what do you think about it?
Man up. Come on. Like, I salute that 1,000%. Yes, it's very hard to be a man. Yes, God ordained you to be the protector, the provider. You are your son's or your children's role model. God has put you here to have dominion over the earth. And so, I just feel like as a man, it is hard being an African American man. It's very much so hard living in the United States of America, And so I salute those brothers that are really trying to be, quote unquote, God's man, as Upset the Graham said.
Right. And I think that was purposeful. Men men are naturally stronger than us. Men have wider backs. We're soft. But I mean, we're made for childbirth, for nurturing. A man is made for protection, that kind of thing. So you know, he really made a good point. I know I talked with my husband about it, and he said he agrees with him, you know, to a point, you know, but he felt like it was a little bit too general. But I mean, he made a lot of good points in that.
All right, so we talked about men and their responsibility, and a lot of men think that just because we're pretty, you know, we have pretty privilege. And so take a look at Megan Good's video as she talked about pretty privilege.
Through my 20s, I kind of played like a lot of the pretty girl, the love interest, or the sexy girl, whatever. Then, you know, at a certain point, I was like, hi guys, I can do so much more than that. And the attitude was like, no, just be pretty.
Right.
Having to learn, you know, how to break out of that box without letting it make me bitter or upset. You hear other people's experiences and someone will discredit yours because they think that, oh, well, that buys you certain privileges. But it also does work against you at times as well. Somebody who's in a position of power is attracted to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you're like, if I just like shut this down a certain kind of way, then they don't want to work with you, or they want to say that you're this, you're that. And so then you kind of have to, you know, kind of like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just told you that went over my head. In a lot of ways, it has worked for me.
Yeah.
And then there's been ways where it's worked against me, which has been a challenge. But I just try not to complain about anything. I'm like, look, something comes with it, no matter what side of the spectrum or no matter how you're experiencing it. Nothing that we're trying to pursue is just easy.
Pretty privilege. Can you give me the pros of being a beautiful woman, Miss Lisa?
Well, I think that aesthetically, we just choose things that we think are pretty in any instance. You know, sometimes if I'm looking at food, I might say, "Ooh, that looks good," you know. So that's what I'm gonna pick, opposed to, okay, that's looking brownish. But I think that we're just naturally prone to pick what we think is pretty, and that's subjective, you know, because some people think, you know,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
Can I say, have you gotten certain things for free or a discount or had an advantage just because you were pretty?
Well, I'm only pretty to some people. So, but I will say, you know, that I might have gotten a ticket or two that I've tried my best to get out to my, what's the problem, officer? Yeah, but like you say, it can, you know, it can be a positive. It can also be a negative and work in your against you. You know?
Yeah, and as for me, I work in corporate America, and so when I do go to work, being a African-American woman in corporate America, I have to go. When I was going into the office, I had to be dressed to the nines. So what does that mean? Lipstick, hair, makeup, like the aesthetics had to be on point.
Exactly.
And so not only, you know, did I bat my eyelashes and say, hey, hello, how are you doing? But sometimes when you are pretty, some people just want you to be quiet or be dumb and like, okay, no, you just sit in the corner over there, baby, and you look pretty.
Right.
But for this role over here, I'm gonna give it to her because she looked like she can work. And so one thing that God has told me is just like, you know, one thing that my grandmother has told me, you know, sometimes we do have to be quiet, but other times, just because you're pretty, you know, you can take authority over that room with your voice. And then when you do speak, people are like, wait a minute. I can't believe that came out of her mouth, because they've already stereotyped you as being pretty, you know, having no substance or, you know, not being able to, you know, attribute to a conversation or
You're
something.
right, Mia, because a lot of times, you know, pretty women are seen as dumb. You know, we haven't had to make those strides in life to get an education or to hone up on certain skills. You have to kind of come around and say, look, I'm analytical. I can think. I'm more than just a pretty face. You have to get people straight sometimes. So yeah, it's a real thing. People don't think that, but it's a real thing. We all know about the Mexico situation that just happened with the girl going to get the surgery to become pretty. Mia, what do you think? This was a situation where the young lady was going to Mexico, the worst part of Mexico, I'm told, like a level 4 as far as danger, you know, and she was going to get cosmetic surgery.
So I am a lover of, you know, tweaking, doing what you need to do to make yourself feel like you are aesthetically presentable or pleasing to yourself. Would it do whatever you think that makes you confident or make you, you know, feel a certain way? But I'm not gonna put myself in danger going to go get a BBL or a tummy tuck or a snip and tuck. I have children, like I have a husband. I'm not gonna go in the most dangerous port of Mexico just to save $1. I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way.
Right, and I think it's just so sad, you know, because she was going over there for that, and you know, this ended up being a life and death kind of thing, you know, where a couple of the people with her were killed. And you know, I just think she was ill-informed, you know. Ladies, if you're going to have this stuff done especially over in other countries, we need to be as informed as possible. And see, me, I wouldn't have been driving. I would have flown over there. You know, you're going to bring me into a situation where you know, I can be greeted by people and I know it's a safe environment. Like you said, we just have to be more informed.
Absolutely.
Beauty is one thing, but we got to stay safe.
Be safe, yeah. Not only research the doctor, but also research the surrounding of the facility as well. Sometimes we can get so mindful and just, you know, research the doctor. Yeah, that's a great doctor. I saw the Instagram videos. I saw this and this. I really like the doctor, you know, good comment. But we don't go and research a little bit further, and then probably too, wrong place at the wrong time too. So I mean, probably wasn't avoidable.
Research, yeah, because if it's cheaper, you know, it might be a reason.
And so, you know, this isn't the only story about all of these things happening in Mexico. And Lisa, I know that you went to Cancun. Would you go back with all of this stuff going on?
Not to a level 4 area per se. Cancun was a pretty safe area. I know, but even with a lot of that, some of the travel advisories tell you, do not go off by yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't travel off, and that pretty much goes with anywhere you go, a different country. You know, traveling groups, there's safety enough.
Gotcha.
So I would return back, but I would be safe, definitely.
Okay. So, I need the viewers to listen to this. I've never heard of it before, but I have a daughter who has been overweight her whole life. So I understand what this young lady is talking about, but she calls it fat phobia. Take a look at this.
Fashionable fat people deserve more credit than y'all are out here giving. And it's upsetting me and my homegirls. Fat phobia, which is deeply rooted in racism, please read Fear in the Black Body if you have not, has created a system of limited access. And we still out here looking good, even though every weapon formed against us is telling us that we don't deserve it. I need y'all to put some respect on that, please.
Like I said, I have a daughter, and she has been overweight her whole life. She has been bullied in school because of, you know, being overweight. And being her mom, I always tell her, look, you may be big boned, but you're not ugly. You are beautiful from the inside as well as the outside. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, even in you know, being her mom, giving her, you know, providing her with confidence, you know, I ensured that her confidence was through the roof so that she can face, you know, tomorrow. What do you feel about what you just saw or what you heard from the young ladies talking about fat phobia? I
mean, I fought with that with my girls too, because you want to teach them, you know, their worth is more than their bodies anyway. But, you know, the fat phobia, you know, these days it's like, is that really a thing? You know, because I've seen some plus size sisters that come with it. I mean, in every aspect, from head to toe, they're absolutely gorgeous. I mean, even, you know, with clothing, you know, they're making clothing now that is more the whole Shein.
Yes.
Shein came and rocked it for everybody, you know, and they look great. The ones that bring it together like a base. I mean, I love it. I have a few favorites. I get so up about it because, I mean, I see some ladies even on social media and TikTok, that kind of thing, and they just bring it. I mean, from swimwear, evening wear, they top notch. You know, in these days, the whole slim thick. That I mean, it's in to be thicker. So.
Correct. The whole BBW, you know, and my daughter, she didn't understand it when she was younger, but now she loves her curves and her hips and everything. You know, people are getting BBLs and they're getting hip injections and things just to
Trying
be
to get what you already got.
correct, a curvier woman. And so I don't really feel that, you know, when I looked at the definition of fat phobia, it's just like, even it talks about, you know, not wanting to be around fat women. Like, I don't feel like that is necessarily true. But I do understand her when she's saying that they're not getting their accolades of, you know, doing the doggone thing. But I do think that, like, with the plus size models and the
Lizzo, you know, we always use Lizzo.
Correct. She loves her body. People are banning body shaming and all of those different things. So I think, as you know, a culture, like, we are moving away from that genre. Yes.
I think maybe, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, it being physically fit, that kind of thing. You know, being having a few extra pounds and doesn't necessarily mean you're not physically fit. I think we should go more so for health. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of sisters, they bringing it. They're vegans. They're, you know, living a healthy lifestyle. They have trainers and they're doing the thing. But, you know, some things are just innate. You know, if my aunt was plus size, my mama was plus size, I'm probably going to be plus size. So, you know, just do what you know, work it like you can work it.
Absolutely. And have you ever heard of BMI? Who is truly in their BMI threshold? So you know, everybody obese.
Right.
If you go to the doctor and you look in your medical record, nobody's within their BMI limits.
Right.
And so, I mean, everybody carry that obese level, but, you know, label, because we're all not, you know, in that little. So I mean, I'm embracing who I am, and I see that a lot of women are embracing their curves, their thickness, their fullness, and so I'm like, girl, do it.
Right. There's been studies done that we as Black women are more body accepting of ourselves than other cultures. We, you know, we don't have much. I think the things that come about where we're, you know, tripping on it is in any way comes from the external, you know.
Absolutely.
But in our community, I mean, curves are in.
Absolutely. In the words of Meg the Stallion, body yaddy yaddy. I love it.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
This has been a great chit chat, or chick chat.
Chick chat, yes. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Mia, you got any closing words?
I'm just going to say, embrace yourself, queen. Run away from the men. Get the red flags and run.
And stay away from that first guy.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for watching.
Thank
See you next time.
Yes.